Hello, everybody, and welcome to my podcast, Fulfillment in Faith. I am your host, Shannan Mondor. Today's episode is a continuation of my series, You Are Not the Only One. I was brought forth to do this series because during my healing from my addiction to alcohol, there were so many times that the universe had brought me to silence. And during those times is when I learned so many things about myself, and I was guided. I was guided to talk openly about my past, my abuse, my addiction, and to speak my truth. From those moments of silence is when we learn, we grow, and then we teach and help others. Today, my guest is Danica Williams, and she is here to share her story. Welcome, Danica. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. How are you today?
I'm doing absolutely wonderful. And I just want to say I am honored and blessed to have you on the show with me today. So how about we get right into it, Danica, and you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and then you can just start to go into your story and tell everybody about when you were brought to your stillness.
Okay. My name is Danica Williams. I'm 37 years old. I'm from San Diego, California. I've been here in Dallas, Texas for a little over 10 years now. I'm the mother of two. I have a 20-year-old daughter and a 17-year-old daughter. Both of my children are teen moms, so I'm helping them right now with my two grandbabies. As far as my background in work, I do event planning, I do floral design, I bartend, so I run a food and beverage staffing service. I do wedding coordinating. I put together a lot of business mixers for small business owners to network and kind of make the connections they need to grow their businesses. And I also am a health and wellness coach. I sell total life-changing products, and it's all natural products that help us pretty much detox, clear our bodies, liquid vitamin, give you the energy you need, just help you be more resourceful, have your energy and detox, which is pretty important to me. So with those things, they keep me in a positive mindset. I love to help people. I love to give back. My company is called GGT and ENT, and that's God's given talent and entertainment. Annually, we do back to school drives to give back to the community, free haircuts, school supplies, backpacks, entertainment, gift cards. We do coat drives, we feed the homeless for Thanksgiving, we give out hygiene kits for Christmas gifts. So I love to give back to the community. As you know, I'm 37 and my oldest is 20, so that lets you know that I was a teen mother. So with me being a young single teen mom, because my oldest daughter's dad was taken from us due to gun violence when she was 10 years old, I had faced a lot of challenges just being a young mom, a single mom, and trying to navigate life, you know, and two children by myself, it was difficult. My oldest daughter kind of went through a hard time after losing her father and resulted to being kind of angry and rebellious and running away and ended up pregnant as a teenager. And then her younger sister decided to follow her footsteps. So it was all a struggle for me to keep all those things together and still focus on the positive in life, still push forward for myself and my family. I still pursued education. I went to the University of Texas in Arlington for phlebotomy. I completed that in 2023. No, 2020. 2003, I'm sorry, 2003, I completed that. This is 2023. Wow, it's been a long time. So now where I am at is I feel like a butterfly. I feel like I have went through my cocoon process. I think what brought me to my still place was about 2 years ago, I was dealing with a lot with the kids, with my grandkids. My youngest daughter got into a situation where CPS was involved with her child. They told me I wasn't eligible to get my grandchild. So for 2 years, basically, it was the state of Texas versus my underage child, and I had no say-so in the case because I wasn't the parent, and they said I wasn't eligible because of my criminal history, which was past history. That I did serve my time. I was put on probation, completed it successfully, hadn't been in any more trouble before this CPS case, but that was their reason to exclude me from the case. So 2 years going through that. Thank God we just got my grandbaby back from state custody this year in March. It was a 3-day trial. It was very strenuous to sit there and listen to the horrible things they had to say about me as a mother, about my kids. But God, in all, God saw it through what was best, and that was for her to be returned to us. And so I'm grateful for that. But in me going through all these tough times, you know, God kept reminding me that I'm not allowing you to go through these things for you. You're going through it and you're making it through it so that you can help somebody else on the other side. And so 2 years ago, I was involved in a single car accident on the freeway. I had been drinking. It was about 2 a.m. leaving from the casino. So when the police came, instead of taking me to jail for DUI, the situation escalated all the way to the left, and I was incarcerated for assault on a public servant, which they assaulted me first. And of course, I was defending myself. But they just charged me with assault on a public servant, retaliation, assault with a deadly weapon, which they said my high heel was a deadly weapon. They racked up so many charges on me that I was in jail with an $80,000 bond. So, of course, I didn't have $8,000 to get out. My family didn't. Even when I talked to a bond officer that was willing to work with my family, they wanted my mom to put her house up. And I didn't want my family to, you know, go through any hardship on my behalf. So at that time, I started questioning God, why here? Why, you know, I'm so far away from family. I'm not where I live in my jurisdiction. These people here are so different from me. Like, why? And God just kept telling me to pray. And so in that time of my incarceration, I ended up staying almost 90 days before the judge reduced my bond and I was able to get out. But in that time, God kept reminding me to pray. So I put myself in the mindset to let go and let God, because this right now is out of my control. I don't have $8,000 to get out of here. So what can I do while I'm here? And what I did was I decided to focus on God and not my issues. Before you know it, I was ministering to people. I was meeting people that never read a Bible before, told me they've never been in a church. And after a while, I was just in awe of how God was using me in that place. You know, I was doing regular Bible studies every day. It was during COVID time, so they weren't having in-person visits or like letting us go to church or anything. So I remember about a month and a half, they lifted the visitation and they were allowing church. And I was so excited, like, oh, we get to go to church. Well, since I was an assault prisoner, I wasn't allowed to go to church. I had to be shackled at my hands and feet at all times as if I murdered someone, but I wasn't allowed to go to church. And it hurt me at first, but I took it and turned it positive. And I said, well, while everybody's at church, I'm going to make out my own service, and I'm going to sign people up when they come back and see who wants to join my service. And I did, and everybody joined, and it was just joyful feeling to know that God is using me to spread his word and his love to other people. And at some point in times, it would be like weeks going by, people getting good news, and it would get hard. Like the devil would attack me, like, God's answering everybody's prayers but yours. But I reminded myself not to look at man and not to look at my situations, not even to be counting on the judge or my lawyer, just to focus on God, you know. And the more that I did that, I was able to find peace. I was able to just know that God has my best interest at heart at all times, and as well as all of ours. You know, he wants the best for us in life. So when you sometimes just step back and let God do what he's going to do, you know, his plan works out perfect. And I just learned how to do what he told me to do, say what he said, say, and it didn't matter. I just trusted the process. And so sometimes when we're trusting the process, we have to remind ourselves not to get anxious, not to worry, because those are not things of God. And that shows little faith, and God tells us to have faith of a mustard seed, which is this small. So if we can just trust the process and trust God's perfect plan, and remember that when God gives you a no, it's not him rejecting us, it's him protecting us. So sometimes the no's and the things that we're asking God for and we don't get immediate answers, still trust the process and being faithful to his word, because he will never leave us nor forsake us, and he wants the best for our lives. So I kept that in the forefront of my mind, and it helped me have peace, and it helped me to just stay still and know that everything would be okay. And I felt like I was in a cocooning stage. I referenced it to being a caterpillar and then being shut off from everybody. So during that cocooning stage, I feel like a lot of people that I thought were my friends and should have been supportive, even if it was put $10 on the phone so I could call you, or, months were going by and I hadn't heard from this person, or, so it let me know who's really there. So when I was able to come home, it was easy for me to let those people go, not to go back and look for those relationships and try to pull them back. Because when God sometimes puts you by yourself in your still place, it's really time for you to reflect on what you need to do for you, and I started really putting myself first. When I was blessed enough to come home, I didn't go look for those old friends. And, I actually lost 2 really close people this year. Well, it was my sister in December. She was murdered to gun violence in front of her youngest daughter, which was my niece. And a week after we buried her, which we buried her December 31st, New Year's Eve, my grandmother who raised me, my mom's mother, passed the following week, January 4th. So I lost 2 close people to me back to back. And this is after me pushing through everything. So I slipped into depression, which is easy to do. It's a natural thing, when we're dealing with so many emotions. But at that time, God kept showing me where he brought me from and how easily I could slip back, if I lose focus. So he reminded me, the same way when you were incarcerated and you focused on me, I need you to do that, because I'm about to open up the doors to bless you and your family and so many other people. If you can just keep course, stay on course, keep your focus. And it took me 2-3 months to get out of that depressed state. But when I had so many people telling me how strong I am, and so many people looking to me because they knew that I had that strength that I took, and it seemed like they were just waiting for me to bounce back. Then I kind of got up and dusted myself off and took off running. So I'm grateful for.
Can I say something? Like, me and you, we had our meet and greet prior, and you had gone into depth of more of your story. Mm-hmm. And like, just listening to what you're saying now, the audience has no idea and what you have gone through. And to hear you tell your story at the level that you are, and you have not felt sorry for yourself once. And I know your story in depth, and I just think good on you. And that all in its own takes so much strength, because you could easily have gone into the feel sorry mode or blaming all that you've gone through the incarceration, through the battle to get your grandchild back, what you've went through with your daughter in the past, the loss of your husband, your baby's daddy through the gun violence, and now with your sister. And that takes so much strength and so much courage. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Finding your strength and being the person that you are, because that is beyond amazing. So
thank you.
And I know this is not easy for you to be sharing your story at all.
No, but I do appreciate the opportunity, because I just know that God has allowed me these things and these different circumstances so that I can help somebody. There's some single mother who doesn't know, where to find strength, but just hearing me saying self-love, think about yourself, do things to make you feel good every day, even if it's just getting up and meditating, waking up, being grateful for what you do have, not complaining in every situation, just try to find something positive. I mean, for me, I had to change my whole mindset. And so with me knowing that I influence a lot of people and I have a nice following, I like to push that positive energy out because it's not enough of us doing it. It's a lot of people posting all the negative, all the drama, everything that you don't need to hear and doesn't encourage you to do better. But it's not many of us that look like me are going through it and can relate, because people might see me on social media and think I'm happy all the time and my life is perfect, but I struggle every day just to get up and put a smile on my face, just to get up and encourage somebody else that might be going through. So it's like, if I can, you can, and that's my ultimate goal, is to share my story. And eventually one day my daughters be healed to where they could be alongside of me and show, hey, we watched my mom go through all this. We've been through a situation and we've all came out on the other side, so eventually I know that'll happen. And I'm just grateful for God giving me the strength and the boldness to be able to talk about it. Because like you say, it's not easy. No. And a lot of people are judgmental in everything, and they'll put their opinions on you and make you feel worse about your situation, when really other people's opinions don't matter, because they're not the ones walking in your shoes, having to live the life you lived. But I'm grateful to be at a place where I can share and help others.
And that's what people need to understand. Whatever you put out into the world, or whatever you put into your world, that is your choice. That is a mindset decision of what you want to be thinking about, attracting, or how you choose to live your life. Just like me, just like you, we have made that choice, that personal choice, that we want to better ourselves. So we really pay attention to what we bring into our lives. No different than someone out there posting all that negativity on Facebook. That's their choice. I would rather want to bring in love, compassion, all these different things, than create that negative environment, because it is so easy to go negative, because that's the society that we're in.
Right.
It is work. It is really a lot of work for us to stay in the positive, because we are the path less traveled.
Yeah. And it's easy for people to look at us and say, oh, you think you're better than other people. And it's not that. It's just that you've grown to a level where you know what you will accept and what you will allow around. Because I can even use, for an example, some family members, I love my family. I'm a family-oriented person. Like, I grew up with my grandparents, all the cousins there, every holiday, a close-knitted family. And it seemed like after my grandfather passed, and now this year, my grandmother, like, our family's not close anymore. And, at first, when grandma was transitioning and going through cancer, I was reaching out to everybody, like just trying to pull everybody back in, like, before we lose this last knit, like, we need to be a family, we need to be one. And it seemed like people wasn't on the same page. And I said, look, you're stressing yourself out trying to make everybody be happy and be back, but that's not everybody's mission. Everybody doesn't see that. So how about you just focus on you and your family, And it hurts to have to do that, because that's family. I love them. But at the same time, my happiness is important. Me making sure that my children, my grandchildren are raised with this close knit like I want. That's important. So not put so much focus and energy into trying to get somebody where I'm already at, because with time, Obviously they'll feel and see the love that I was trying to project anyway, and they'll come back around if it's meant. So like even losing some family or choosing yourself over family is necessary.
Yeah.
You
And
know, it
that's,
doesn't mean you lose any love. You don't have to not like them, talk bad about them, but you can choose you over even your parents.
and yeah, I totally 100% get what you're saying, because I had to do all of that. And it doesn't mean that I don't love them, because I do very much love them. But because of where I am in life and my growth, it doesn't suit me to have them in my life, because it's just a constant reminder of what my past was like. Or, it's just basically praise and release. Once they would get to the level of where I am, then I would gladly accept them back into my life. But I've set my healthy boundaries. And it's okay to love somebody and have compassion towards them, but that does not mean that I need to have them in my life. They were a part of my growth. They served their purpose, and I served their purpose as well. And then from there, you just grow and continue, and then you bring all these lovely other different people into your life, and it's just a growing cycle of praise and release, because people are not always going to be in your life the whole entire journey. That's not how life works. And the way I look at it is if they are, then you're pretty much staying stagnant. You're not growing. And that's what people need to understand, right? It's okay to release and move on and grow from there.
Especially if it's not serving you a better
No,
purpose.
no,
Or
it's
if it's
not.
bringing more hurt or harm into your life than it is joy and love, then it's best to release it, because you're fighting a losing battle.
Well, and if you're doing it for others, you're being a people pleaser. So it's not doing you any justification in any way, shape, or form. Because I was a people pleaser for years and years and years. And where did it get me? It got me to my addiction, because I suppressed suppress, right? I didn't even know how to express myself. So yeah, like the journey that you've been on is just absolutely amazing. So
I appreciate the opportunity to share, because a lot of times, like I say, I could be looked at like I'm happy all the time and everything is going great, when I want people to know that I struggle just like everyone else. Family issues, depression. I even get anxious at times, but because I have shifted my mindset, I know how to recognize those things and change it. As soon as I'm feeling like, well, this nervous feeling or whatever, okay, you're getting anxious. Why don't you just write about it, or, go meditate? And I find something positive or healthy to do to manage the stress or anxiety or whatever is coming over me. So I think it's good to always be able to start figuring out what's going on and making changes for the better, because it will help you grow and
100%.
elevate in your life.
Yes, 100%. The awareness of knowing something is not suiting you. That's where it's at, is the awareness first, right? Now, for the audience out there that is listening right now, what is it that you would want them to know that is so important if they're going through the same struggles or any situation that you are going through? What is it that you want them to know from your experience?
Well, the main thing I would say is to always keep God first. He gave us life and he knew about it before we got here. So if you have a different higher power, I just say that you keep your faith in God first and foremost, so that he can lead you. He can remove people and things. And when he does, trust the process. Don't go back and pick those things up, because when we do that, we're blocking our blessings. When you're finding yourself in your cocoon stage and you feel like no friends are around, no families around, start focusing on you and finding ways to make you feel good. And when I talk about that, I'm talking about self-love, if that's going to pamper yourself, if it's even paying attention to the things you're putting in your body, trying to eat healthier, drinking more water, meditating, exercising, reading, things that can stimulate your mind to help you get in a more positive mindset and teach you things so that you're not focusing on your right now situation. And when you start pouring into yourself like that, God will just start opening up doors and bringing different people in your lives and aligning you in places that you never imagined you would be. Like, wow, what's happening? But that's because you have took the time to focus on you. And now that you're morphing into this butterfly and God is putting together this beautiful creation and you're letting him do his work, you're not fighting back, then just life gets easier. And so I talk about being at peace because I feel like my peace comes from knowing that God is going to take care of everything. Even during my incarceration, like 90 days is a long time. And I was praying for people to get bond reductions and get released. And they were getting released and they were going home and I was still there. So at any point in time, I could have got frustrated and cursed God or gave up or lost my faith. But instead of looking at my situation, I just kept looking at what God had me doing. Keep ministering to these people, keep praying for these people. And even now, my situation is not over. I have to go to trial in October to fight for my freedom. They want to give me 10 years in prison. But even now, I am still following what God has ordered me to do. I'm not scared. I'm not anxious. I'm not putting it all over Facebook or anything because I trust God to work that situation out, you know, and I also believe that when you do right, right always wins. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I've stumbled. Yeah, I made a mistake of drinking and driving. I know I made a mistake, you know, so God put me in that situation. That wasn't a mistake. He put me there to sit down and think, to go ahead and start morphing into this butterfly because I have so much waiting for you. So I'm kind of grateful for that time. It sucks that it had to be in jail, but I'm grateful for what I went through, what I learned, the lives that I was able to touch, the amazing feeling I got. Even when I left, I asked when I was released, how long before you can try to come do ministry here? And they said, after you've been out for over a year. So I went back to that same place 3 times to ask to do prison ministry there. They just don't have the availability right now, but it started there. So why not continue it there, you know? And exactly. I just feel that God has called me to share, and that's what I'm going to do, be obedient.
Yeah. And because you've been in there, you know what is required there through that experience. Yeah, I can definitely see you going back there and doing your ministry for sure.
Yep. I'm working on it.
Yeah. Well, it's going to happen. That's amazing.
Thank you.
So where are you right now in your life?
So right now, I'm just staying busy with work, keeping myself busy. I have a big wedding that I'm doing in September. So I'm doing floral for that and coordinating the wedding. I have a back to school event coming up on the 12th in Arlington, Texas. All this information will be on my social sites. You guys can follow me on my Facebook page, Danica Williams. My Instagram is CALI_BOSSY, the number 85. I do post regularly flyers, different events and stuff that I have going on, or even some of my partners that they have. I have a tax class coming up on the 12th as well. I'll be starting a new tax office for next year. It's going to be God's given taxes and financial services.
Oh, good for you.
I'm always selling my total life changing products. Let me show you some.
Let's take a look at that.
So these products are all natural. This is a new flavor tea that we just came out. I love, love, love it. It's the watermelon detox tea. These come in sachets. This bag is a 30-day supply. So you can put this in your water bottle, shake it up and go. We have fruit punch flavor. We also have raspberry and lemon. And then they have the regular flavor. This is the brewed tea. This will make you a gallon. It's actually stronger than the sachets. But these are a dietary supplement, help you lose weight. It does kind of constrict your appetite. This is NutriBurst, which is all natural liquid vitamin. It has all your vitamins A through Z, zinc, biotin. This I call liquid gold. I take it every morning. It gives me my energy. It's also like a meal supplement because I'm not a big breakfast person, but it also has fruits and vegetables. They say 1 cupful is equivalent to 10 salads. So NutriBurst. And we have NRG, which is all natural energy pill. Sometimes I open this capsule, mix it with my NutriBurst, and I'm like a rocket flying out the door. But with the NRG, you burn 300 calories just by taking the capsule. So it's not a big requirement to diet with these products. They're all natural. There's no caffeine, sugars, no kind of addictive, shaky stuff in anything. I've been taking the products for about 3.5 years. I've been selling them for 2, and I didn't start selling them until I could actually feel them work for myself, and what I did notice is, for one, it does suppress my appetite, and I've changed a lot of the things I eat, like red meat, chicken. I'm slowly changing it. But it's easier now because my body is just getting used to taking in more good stuff. So like over the weekend at the fight, when I went to a fight party, I ate barbecue and I was sick the next morning. I was sick. So now I don't want to eat any meat this week. So I'll be on fish and seafood. But my link to order these products is in my Instagram bio. We do have other products like sea moss. They have resolution drops, hair and skin nail peels. There's tons of products. They're all natural. They're all healthy. So I'm a life coach with TLC, and they're total life changing. So if you ever want to get healthy, sometimes I do my workouts on Zoom on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So sometimes I'll go live on Facebook, or I have a group. So if you're interested in working out, if you're a mom, you don't really like going to the gym, sometimes I do it in my backyard, or I'll do it at home in my living room, and I'll just go live so people can work out with me from home. I need motivation. I need a workout partner. So people that also need that, please feel free to inbox me so I can add you to the workout group. And I think I'm kind of caught up on what I have going on right now.
I just want to let the audience know too, that all of this will be in the notes for everybody to go and look at. So they'll be able to get a hold of you and connect with you and look on your Instagram and all of that as well. And also order your products too. So at this time, I want to say thank you so much for being a part of my journey. I absolutely loved you being on my guest. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
In closing, if you like this podcast, please subscribe, and I ask that you tell your friends. Please go to my website, shannanmondor.com, and I invite you to check it out and look at my one-on-one coaching and also my Fulfillment in Faith program, which is a 6-month personal development program, which will change your life completely. I know because I created it and I live by my program every single day. So I want to thank everybody for listening today, and I thank my lovely guest. And I'm so glad that you are here.
Thank you. Bye.